Recommendations are clinical prescriptions. I say that because they should be very specific. They should be really related to what your experience is, and it should be something that you can incorporate into your everyday life, right? So it shouldn't be something super vague. So when you think about that, what do recommendations consist of? They should have a very clear, specific goal, and they should have a very clear, specific means of implementation. For example, we know that people who experience depression really do benefit from physical activity. That could be a recommendation, increasing your physical activity. However, if the recommendation is too vague, how much are we expecting the client to figure out how to make use of that? So you should be more active as a recommendation for a person who's depressed. They're already having trouble with that. So saying something like that may not be as effective. Lots of people take statements and they run wild with it. It could mean like getting up from the couch for 5 minutes and then sitting back down and finishing your show. Really depends. So we want to be pretty specific. Clients should seek therapy. It's not specific enough. It's not as helpful because the onus is now placed on the client to do a lot of work to figure out what types of therapy they should and would benefit from. There are some providers who will provide recommendations on who you should seek therapy from. That's a little bit better, but we should be really thinking about what is the person able to do based on the data that we received, and how frequently should they be doing it, and what is the goal? Frequency and duration. Those are what you would say recommendations should consist of. But using the specifics of the data to help emphasize what can be useful. So it really is important to be as specific as you possibly can when you're listing your recommendations, because I think it's much easier for the client to think about what they're looking for and what they should be looking for, because we all know there are a lot of therapists working from different modalities. And if you're the assessor, you are the person who has the best insight into what is going to support this person. So I talk about frequency and I talk about duration. The reason for that is I want the client to know that this is not just going to be a very quick, just do a couple of sessions and you're good. Even if it doesn't take 6 months based on the work that the clinician does, at least there's a time frame to help the client understand exactly what they're getting themselves into and why. I take this model from, of course, the medical model, where a prescription is generally provided. What is it? How do you take it? What's the strength? And for what duration? And will there be a refill? We don't have to get to that point, but the more information you have, the better you're able to really have someone be consistent at having an issue treated. We also know, just a slight caveat, there is a very, very low tendency for people to follow through with their recommendations based on many of the reports that were done in the past. And part of it is it not being specific enough or not having enough follow through.